Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be about leg drive with overhead pressing. For those of you who know, we don't need to explain this, but for those of you new who don't know what overhead pressing or leg drive is to overhead pressing, so let me explain that real quick. Overhead pressing is this motion with anything, barbell, dumbbells, tires, whatever you want, right? So when we talk about leg drive, that's when we're loaded, we would do a slight dip, right? So it's basically engaging triple extension. And that's when the ankles, knees, and hips bend, right? So we have flexion in all those joints, and then you would snap them real quick to go, right? So as you go to press, you have all that leg drive driving up into the press to make the press more powerful, right? So a problem with leg drive is often we're not very good at it. That's my case, right? I'm not very good at leg drive. It gives me trouble. What happens to myself, I'll get a lot of weight, and I feel like I'm doing a calf raise. Let's see if you can see my feet. It's like a calf raise and then like pressing. So I have a little bit of leg power, but it's not a whole lot. I don't feel exceptionally powerful. So upon review of my log press, I'll go ahead and put that up here real quick before we continue. I'll make a few comments on it so you can see.
This is me pressing from the other day. This is 300 pounds. Close to 90%, 95. So we pick it, we clean it, we start to press it. Notice the ankles, the feet. Yeah, that's not even leaving the ground. That's not even close to a calf raise. So we're seeing the knees bending and we see the hips bending, but we do not see the ankles bending. So this is 240, significantly lighter. So we do the same thing. We pick it, lap it, clean it, rack it. Watch the feet. Same things occurring at the feet. So we see the knees bending, we see the hips bending, but there's no extension through the ankle. It's just like you're trying to extend, but there's just no power down there. So if you're having a problem similar to this, where you're not able to adequately drive through, I think there's just a lot of power being lost here. And that means we could be putting more weight on that overhead press if we fix it. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video.
But after watching that log press, I'm noticing I'm not really getting all that much through leg drive. It's like my ankles are kind of doing this roll thing. It's like a slight calf raise. You fall back and then you press through, right? So an optimal leg drive is going to be kind of like a jump. And of course, this changes as load is added on. So it's like you will never actually, jump through it, but that's what you want to do. You want to be able to have enough power through the calves for triple extension that you can just, right, jump through it. Yes, I make my own sound effects. I'm weird. But so an exercise I was kind of developing or thought about, it's nothing new. Everyone's done this before, but it's something I've thought about that I think will help, and perhaps it'll help you too, is I'm going to take a weight. Okay, that's the 55. So this is a light one, right? It's like 20 pounds, right? And so we're going to just put it in a press position, and we're going to go through triple extension. So we load up and then press, right? So the bag flies up, it comes down, and if you look at my feet, it looks like I'm very much pushing power through it, right? When I'm doing it, I feel power going through it. That's good leg drive. Now, when I add a little bit more weight and go to the 55, look what's going to happen. So I go down, I cock it, go, right? Now I'm up on my toes a little bit, but I'm barely pushing through the floor. And if I get even heavier, I don't have a heavier weight with me at this very moment, but I'll just demonstrate real quick so you can see. Is I'll be up here and I'll go down and I'll be like, right? I get under it. So it's like I'm trying to press it, but instead of going through, I'm dropping under and catching it, which is a viable technique for sure. But that's not the point of what I'm trying to do, because it's like if I had strong enough leg drive that I could take 300 pounds and go through it, right, that would be very powerful. But right now, as you've seen in the video, it's kind of like a calf raise and like getting under it, right? It's really kind of weird. So an exercise that I'm going to use, and I'll tell you why I'm using it, it's to develop leg drive. But I'm going to take a log, an axle. Those are specialty strongman implements. But you can do it with a barbell, dumbbell. It could be anything. You could do it with medicine balls or sandbags. It doesn't really matter. You just want to have some resistance at this this portion, right? So if I have some resistance here that I have to drive through, it'll work. You could also do this with just like a front squat or a back squat where you're just practicing jumps. That would do it too. The only reason I want to be able to press this thing is because it's going to have more carryover, I believe, to the long log press pattern, or just any press pattern. Because when you're pressing, you're synchronizing your leg drive with your overhead placement. So it'd be like down here and then drive, right? That's a press. That's what we want to be explosive in that pattern. We want to have our nervous system kind of synced up to do that. And so although if I was to do a barbell or front squat where I was just practicing jumps, that would certainly help. But I feel like if I'm able to launch it, that's going to help more. So then the application of this isn't going to be like a exercise you throw in your rotation all the time. No, this would be something that I'm going to use to build up my leg drive until I feel like when I'm on like a log or a barbell or on my press, that I'm actually getting that drive through. When I'm actually driving through at like 115 or even, because even at 115 pounds, it's like, it's kind of sketchy, right? It's like, are you actually driving through it? I don't feel like I am. I think I need lighter weight. But when I'm able to get an efficient drive at heavier weights, I'll just use that. Then I'll ditch the sandbag, I'll ditch the throwing and just go over to pressing. And then through pressing itself, as long as I'm getting adequate drive, it'll be maintained. So the idea of this to help develop leg drive is literally just because I feel my leg drive is so weak, it's not explosive or powerful enough, that I basically need to go back down to baby weights and develop proper triple extension explosiveness. And then once that's maintained, I'm going to carry that over into my press, that this will never exist again. This is literally just to bring up a deficit that's so low, that I think at least is so low, to a good plane. So I'm going to practice this for about 8 weeks. I'm going to throw it in as like maybe a press day warm up, or do it like at a frequency of 3 times a week. And about 8 weeks later, I'm going to post another video like this, and we're going to see if it worked or not. So yeah, leave questions or comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, or if you've had this problem or find this helpful. Until next time, bye.